Hello again, and welcome to another Heroes of the Storm quick tip. Today I wanted to talk about doing safe interrupts on Cursed Hollow, what they look like, and why you're trying to do them in the first place. This can also apply to other maps where you have to channel an objective, such as Towers of Doom or Garden of Terror, but for today we're going to be looking at Cursed Hollow. So before we begin, what is a safe interrupt? Well, an interrupt, safe one, is typically a ranged ability that can be used from a fairly long distance to stop the channel of an objective. So in this case, a curse. So good examples would be almost any of Chromie's abilities, Q and W. Johanna's Shield Glare is a very good example of one with a fairly long range, and because she's a tank with Unstoppable, she can also force her way through enemy CC if needed to make that happen. Diablo's Fire Stomp has a fairly long range and lingers, so that is an excellent one. And obviously Tyrande with her owl, you can be anywhere on the map, and as long as you line up the target correctly, you can throw it, and because of the piercing element, you can even go through enemy heroes trying to block the shot and still stop a channel. So the whole point is you want to interrupt the channel without putting your character in a large amount of danger. So what that means is not every game has the same amount of danger. Not every situation is the same. So in this case, while yes, Diablo could theoretically run up through here, get to about here, and Fire Stomp and potentially stop this, he's going to have to go through at least 3 to possibly all 4 heroes to make it happen, and put himself in significant danger to do so. So that's probably, so this is no longer a safe interrupt. If they want to do it, this is more of a committal than anything else. So that's the primary difference. If there was, say, just a Johanna here and just a Thrall here, then it's much closer to being an actual safe interrupt. So let's look at the game behind me for an example. So as you can see, they just started capping. The Diablo keeps moving up, but that's okay. The Tyrande interrupts with an owl. Orpheus sneaks bottom. Again, there's no heroes around to stop her, so she throws an E, which is safe from there. And then they back off. So, all in all, that was about 18 seconds from the initial cap to finishing the channel. So why did we do this? Like, what did we want to accomplish besides making this take longer? We added about 10 seconds to it. 10 to 12 seconds, let's say. So what did we get done? Well, we had Raynor kill a wall and soak some mid. And we got Dahaka back to lane before everyone else. And also that means Orphea gets to bot lane before anyone else. So what we've primarily gained is a slight advantage in terms of positioning and soaking, because no one's going to be able to get back up here quickly. So this wave is going to just be missed completely. And also, we didn't force Dahaka to burn a dig to get down here, supposing Dahaka even had dig up to begin with. Because Dahaka had died and was in spawn when this was just coming up. So instead of using him to try and take a full fight, instead we sent him back up to top lane. Also, you'll note our Raynor is already on siege, ready to start it, whereas their siege is up and Greymane is still in mid. So what we've gained here is not a huge amount of resources. Consider, say, an Abathur comp, which can essentially just sit the Abathur body in lane and collect soak the entire time for safe interrupts. That obviously benefits much more. If we had a camp pushing in another lane, obviously that's much more deadly because you're getting actual siege value. But the whole point is you're keeping these 5 people here so you can trade and either get more soak, get a material advantage by killing buildings or something similar, or trying to, say, get to 10 before the opponents, which again goes back to soak. So the whole idea is if you want to do safe interrupts, you have to have a reason. You don't want to do them when you're behind necessarily, but if you're doing it because you're catching soak to catch up in XP and even it out, well then that makes sense. But if it's just all 5 heroes standing around and staring at one another and posturing, that doesn't necessarily help you. So just, again, consider why you want to make a safe interrupt in the first place, and also consider if it is a safe interrupt. The longer you hang around, the much more likely it is someone's going to step up and throw a max range ability and get caught out and die because of it. So just something to keep in mind. For coordinated play specifically, big thing you want to do is talk about what you have for each hero before it comes up, and also clearly say when you're going to use an ability, like who's going to go for the interrupt, so that way you don't overlap them. There's nothing worse than having, say, 3 interrupts lined up and then everyone using them within 1 to 2 seconds of each other, when you could have spread those out and gotten, say, 10 to 15 seconds of stall for the same commitment. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of why you're doing this, besides the obvious, making it take longer to cap a curse in this case. And that's all for now. Have a great day.